Hey, Justin. Good God.
Hello.
How was class?
It was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Sword Buddies.
Welcome to Sword Buddies.
It was a good time tonight. I got there. I started doing jump rope. Tim wants me to do interval sprints and start jump roping. And so I'm trying to do 500. And you need to get on to me. I need to do 500 jumps every day.
Okay.
At least to start out. And the ultimate goal is to work my way up to 1,500 a day. So
Okay.
Any kind of jump, really. Like on one leg, on both, switching. It really doesn't matter. I just got to do 500 a day.
Switching is the easiest. Once you get into the habit of that, that's the one. Well, that's the one that you're gonna find you can do the longest after a while.
Yeah, like I can switch. What I can't do is go as long switching. You know what I mean? Like I can't do as many consecutive jumps when I switch. I will always mess up and like get off the rhythm with my wrists. And I'm wondering if I'm just carrying tension somewhere by accident and it's like throwing off my ability.
The biggest thing I've always noticed when I started doing the jump rope and getting really heavy into that and doing a lot of cardio in the morning. Is your mic good?
Yeah, it's detecting you is about as well as it detects me, so I'm just trying to get it to detect me more.
Gotcha.
Technical difficulties in the early part.
Okay.
Welcome to Sword Buddies.
Hi. But for me, what I always notice is I always tend to pull it back. I have to keep it in front of me. I have to keep the handles in front of me. If they pull back to here, it's going to throw off the circle. It has the center of the circle has to be in front of me. But the thing is, real quick, I also can only do it backwards. I can't do it forwards. It's just impossible for me. I just can't get it right in my head.
That's real funky. Because I can do it forward. I can't really do it backward that well. But, what was I going to say? I always hit myself in the back of the head. So I think I just pulled down too far. Mm-hmm. And because it even happened at practice tonight when I was warming up doing my jump ropes. How was yours?
I kind of started off on the wrong foot because I forgot my knee pads. And Sensei tonight was like, all right, we're going to start with our advanced sitting forms. Here we go. So my knees got a good beating.
Ooh.
And the thing is, when doing those forms, these advanced sitting forms, it's a lot quicker when going from sitting to standing, which is why they're more advanced. And the distance is a lot closer than it is measured towards yourself. Like in the basic forms, you are under the assumption that you are fighting someone your height, weight, everything, your proportions. And they're at not the farthest distance at reachable to where you're extending over, but to where you can get the most power out of using your hips and comfortably extending your arms.
Okay.
So it's the only term I can think of is a very measured distance. It's the farthest distance comfortably, whereas the advanced forms are very close. So those are when you start breaking and bending the rules that you learn in the basic sets.
The reason I smile is because in my study, we call the distance the measure. And there is two different kinds. There is the larga and the stretta. The larga is far enough away to be able to hit your opponent with a lunge. The stretta is close enough to be able to hit your opponent with a simple lean of the body. Mm-hmm. And it is interesting how the game changes when you fence in each of those measures and when you give a lot of attention to your existence within those measures. Because we also fence within like a 15 by 15 box. And you do get penalized for going out of the box. Mm-hmm. So you really gotta, from the larga which is the longer one, sort of set your plan of attack, know what you intend to do, and start to gather information on how your opponent is going to react. Where does he feel in danger when you feint to different parts of his body or their body? And sort of vice versa, how do you react to them? They're going to be gaining the same information. But once you gain your information, you know how to approach to be able to penetrate their defense.
Interesting.
And it's all about the measure. Because most techniques start from do something from the larga, enter the stretta, gain the blade, finish the attack.
This is it's here when I notice like the difference and the similarities in our systems, because when you're talking about the stretta, we call it in EI it's the ma'ai. That's just your distance and timing. It's both of those concepts in one thing. And it could be that they're closer or they're farther away, or that they are, slightly above or below, or they're doing certain things or whatever. But how y'all practice with the actual dueling aspect of feeling it out, for us, because we are dealing with assumedly sharp swords and we have no partner to practice with other than the one that we perceive in our mind, there's where's it going with this? Oh wow, I trailed off. That distance. Oh yeah. It's more of that. There's no gathering of information. It is you are starting an immediate action and you are not stopping.
So it's a resolute action
from the very beginning.
Okay, we have those, but it's like, I don't have time to deal with you. I'm just gonna finish this in one go.
That is every action that I train in, and that's why we do it 100 times every time in practice. That's what I do. That's what I do every day.
You mentioned that I cannot pronounce the term, most because I don't remember it, but the concept of distance and timing.
Ma'ai. Yeah.
We have split it, we being the Fabris school, have split it into two concepts. Measure, which is the distance between you and your opponent, and tempo, which is the individual time it takes for you to make a step or morph the sword and just do an action. Everyone fights within a tempo. I've mentioned this to you before. Like when you watch a fighter approach, when we're watching UFC, the rate that they are walking, that's probably going to be the same rate in which they are fighting. And the punches come in like downbeats to try and break the opponent's understanding of when you're going to attack.
Oh man,
that's tempo, and it is individual for every single person, and it's taking all of these concepts and just accounting for that to thwart it.
That's just reminded me of like whenever we're working at like a workshop and we can clearly tell that someone has like actual hand-to-hand experience like boxing, and we're like, oh god,
because their tempo is like it's it's immediately right in your
because
face.
In their mind, why on earth would I do
anything different?
Well, why would I do, like, why would I show them that I'm gonna punch? Why would I prepare and give them a heads up? But that's the whole point of stage combat, which is a different thing, but that's just got in my head. Other thing I wanted to get at before we trail off again.
Oh, my new toy.
Your new neck.
Because I do historical European martial arts, I am a dork, and I like to get semi-historical accurate gear. So I got a new piece, which is referred to as a gorget. It protects the neck. Go ahead and put it on to demo it. I had one that was made of really thick fabric, and it's really hot and really uncomfortable to wear for a long time. Like, I always rest by like pulling it down. But this, despite being made of leather, steel, and nickel plates, that's what the studs are. So on the inside, I'll just like hold it up because it's kind of tricky to fasten, but it like sits around my neck, and it protects me. Like if you poke this, it's solid. And underneath, like I'll have a plastic chest plate, and then I have a mask with cushion that covers chin, and it will cover this. But like I can wear this on top, but you can hear the little plates in it.
Yeah.
There's little discs on the inside.
All little studs.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
It is that guy's product.
Oh. Shout out to that guy's.
That guy's products. It's really nice. HEMA gear.
Did it protect your neck?
Yeah.
Did you actually get stabbed in the neck tonight?
Yeah, I usually get stabbed in the neck. Like once or twice. I have really good fencers. Mm-hmm. And the guy I've been trying to focus on beating was a sport fencer for a long time. So his tempo is really quick and difficult for me to beat. So I have to focus on defensive tactics.
Is he left or right-handed?
He's right-handed, but he knows how to get inside and hide how close he is and then explode and get you. And it's really annoying. But today I was practicing a leaned over guard, which sort of like shuts down fast attackers because I'm further away and my targets are hidden, because instead of like being straight up, I'm leaned forward. So that here I can do it in profile. I'm usually back of the foot, but I can, if I fence him in that position, then his quickness is sort of counteracted because my sword is closer to his point, ready to be able to move
take it offline. Yeah.
Take it offline and then be able to counter real quick, which is what I was able to do a lot today.
Are there many blocks in your system? Hard blocks?
There's like parries, but you parry because it's just a natural instinct. Mm-hmm. Like you parry just to not get hit, but there's no like formalized here's the motion. What there are is counter guards. And Fabris does talk about parries, but the essential parry is just a proper counter guard, which can be set up before an opponent even attacks. Mm-hmm. So like an opponent will position their sword within a line to attack, and you have to position yours to close off a certain line.
So if I pose mine in the high line,
if you I'm imagine you'd be pointing it up at my head.
Yeah.
I would probably hope if you're this close to me, I'm gonna try and bind up and get you in the face. But if we're at like a long distance and you're pointing it at my head, I'll probably taunt you and just hold it underneath, flat, like that, as opposed to like straight like that, which is what we usually do. Also, this is what I fence with every day.
How heavy is that one? That's your heavier one, right?
Yeah, this one I competed with. I think it's like.
But you fenced with that one today?
Yeah, I usually fence with this one at practice.
You don't fence with the lighter one?
I have a lighter one. I don't like it because it makes me speed up my tempo and I make more mistakes. This one forces me to slow down and focus on the technique, which makes me much better. And I take more losses, but that was one thing I wanted to say. You mentioned you don't have opponents and you to practice on because this even dulled is presumably sharp.
We have. There is the concept of techie, which is the enemy. So we see them as this force that is our proportion, like I was saying earlier, like our proportion, armed and clothed in the same way we are. And every time, like for example, in one set, you'll see like there's just one basic horizontal cut and then a vertical, and that's it. And then the next one will be a variation of that. And the next one will be probably a variation on that. Or be these small variations of similar concepts throughout. It's because it's accounting for every possible thing that techie might be doing. If they're coming at it like this way, this is how you do it. If they're coming at it like this way, this is how you do it. If they're coming at it like this way and they take a step back and they do this and they do this, and it's all these small situations that build up that you're aware of, and a really high level concept that is hard to really parse out and practice, which is just every single technique that we do is a waza. Like
what is a waza?
It's just it's a technique.
Okay.
So whenever you see, because I've demonstrated to you before a couple times where it's just like, I'll take a couple steps forward, cut, do a couple cuts, put the sword back and step back. That technically is called a waza. But every single cut and every single way of moving is an individual waza in the overall waza.
Okay.
And you can practice those individual ones just about anywhere. You can practice just the moving those hips, just making that cut, just.
We do the same thing with like gaining the blade, which is like you put. There's weak and there's strong. You put more of your strong over their weak. So like I want to get this part of my blade over that part of your blade, which is a very small, nuanced bit. But if I do it successfully, there's nothing you can do because I am already parrying your attack before I've even made mine.
Yeah, similar concept. Like while I was asking about blocks earlier, there's only one kind of hard block I know of in our system, and it's everything else is a deflection built into the movements between the cuts. So if I have an attack come from different angles, it's already built into how I'm striking and how I'm dealing with the attack. And it's hard to always think about every single one, because eventually, like, I start thinking about one or two concepts and like three or four like fall apart, and then I'll be like, hey, get back in there.
See, that's that like 2000 IQ that everyone says about fighters, is just being able to bring all of that together in a single moment.
Good lord, it is.
But like I can feel it sometimes in a bout where I do something really cool and I go, holy crap, I can't believe I just pulled that off. But now that I'm on this other side, I see how I connected all those dots and I can go do it again. Yeah,
the closest I kind of have to anything like that is there are paired forms that we have, which are for more advanced students. And because there are no more advanced students than myself and a couple other people, our Synthesis uses us as like practice dummies. So we've learned these paired forms, and that's my only way I get to really try these concepts with swords. But we have to use the white oak swords. We can't use the real ones.
I understand that.
The metal ones. Because there's just, I mean, it's
a big risk.
It's not smart.
Especially for your art, because your art is just designed to kill. Mine is designed to kill, but mine's designed to kill on a personal level. Yours is designed to kill on I am a machine. If I execute this precisely, I won't have to worry about what that other person's doing.
Yeah, but there's the similar aspect of this is happening in the street. This is happening unprompted. This is happening in just everyday life.
And that's what I was going to ask. Is this like a you, me, meet here, we're going to do this? Or is this like a I am on duty, here is my lord, there is a threat to my lord, we have to neutralize this now?
Ideally, it's both. Ideally, these concepts can be used in everything. But a lot of the techniques, the more advanced techniques, are that of you are in these situations that are particular to certain time periods in certain areas. But your question, yeah, it's other schools have different techniques that account for like protecting people and lords, whereas this is, I am an unarmed samurai walking down the street, and I am attacked by another unarmored samurai.
Unarmored, not unarmed.
Unarmored. Sorry, because every samurai is armored. It's because that was the law.
Okay.
Every samurai had 2 swords,
Okay.
and it's under the assumption you are by yourself walking down the street, and you are attacked. And each one is dealing with different situations in which you would be attacked, or you sense the danger of, this person is going to kill me. They're going to die first.
Okay. See, mine's like, if you're carrying a sword in public, you're either breaking the law or you're a noble. And so if you're getting into duels in the streets, you're probably a noble defending your honor, and it's like, I brought this with the intent of using it. Hey, pal, we got beef. And then they drop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was probably a little more elegant than that.
Yes, of course.
Italian.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. You would plan it. But I mean, it was cobblestone, and they were wearing leather shoes, like literally just like leather wraps around their feet, and I'm in like indoor soccer shoes on a steel grate. And so like I'm doing my best to like recreate it. Like a buddy of mine who I fence with sent me a link for period accurate shoes. And they have knee-high boots with a bunch of buckles that look straight out of Assassin's Creed 2, but they're like $225.
Oh, jeez.
But I might get them just because I'm a dork.
I'll save up and then get some.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was, it's funny you bring that up. When the coronavirus stuff all happened, and everything shut down, we didn't have classes for 2 or 3 months. And then I reached out to Sensei and I was like, hey, hope you're doing well. Are we ever going to do class again? Because we can socially distance. We don't ever need to get in like personal space. We can all keep like more than 8 feet apart if we want. It doesn't matter. And it's just finding a place to do it. And she's like, well, I have a big backyard. And we're like, great. So we started practicing in her backyard. And the whole place is like warped and like lower and higher parts. So we're doing like sitting forms, and like my center is like off.
Or you're having to like do a weird compensation with your
to
leg
try to sit up,
center it.
Yeah, or I'm like too bunched up. Oh, it was a mess.
Like,
or
that's real. Or that's the art. Because it would not have been level.
But that's where it was like, I have to always compensate for the ground around me and the spiders crawling up my legs the entire time.
And see, that's why,
because there were so many spiders.
And that's why Tim wants to like wait. In the fall, he always talks about, let's go find a park and fence in the park.
Yeah.
Because then we're standing in grass. Mm-hmm. We're not on this nice level steel and wood. But
you just gotta be careful about rolling your ankles.
And that's the thing. That's the challenge. Because also, like, this site had just like plain leather wraps, and I think I'm gonna get those because those are like $60 only. So I can just play with those, look a little silly, but get used to the feel.
Yeah.
No, they're like leather toms for historically accurate fighting.
You have to show me some of these later.
I'll show you the link. Cool. What did you do tonight?
Tonight it was just, we got there. We worked, like I was saying, I didn't have knee pads. Worked on advanced sitting forms. Then had a little bit of free practice to just kind of work on whatever, stretch our legs if our knees were kind of hurting. And then did new advanced standing forms, which I have yet to wrap my head around because they are very, very specific situations that I don't know what's right. Because, like, usually there's checks throughout the waza. There's checks of, like, okay, my shoulders, like, at this alignment, this is right. Or, oh, this is too high, this is too low. Okay, I'm here. At this point, it's so new to me. I'm still, like, I can't even tell where my right and my left arm are supposed to be. So, it's a challenge. And it was hot. It was really hot.
It was hot
because
today.
The air conditioning didn't change from 80 degrees, and it was hot. We were on carpet, and we're trying to move around using just our hips, and it's
See, they just left the back door open, so it just vented out.
Yeah, and we're wearing not heavy clothes, but I guess mine didn't really breathe well. We're wearing, if anyone ever wants to look it up, it's like, just look up Iaido clothing. It's just
it's like you imagine people in Japan walked around in like the 1500s.
Yeah, it's essentially what it is. It's just what someone would wear. Hakama, top. But yeah, that's really all we did. It was hot, and I was pouring sweat. I need to get a haircut.
Welcome to Sword Buddies.
I need to get a haircut because I just sweat. I just sweat so easily. Because I can go as long as the day is, but I just pour sweat.
I sweat so easily.
Good
if I don't have a
Lord.
bandana, I'm going to be blinded by sweat.
Yeah, I have to carry a little handkerchief in my sleeve and just whoop.
Tonight, we did counter tempos.
Mm.
Which is, as someone is moving in on a tempo, you do an action to disrupt them and then get them. Which is like killer instinct.
Kind of juking him a little bit?
No.
Or what do you mean? What do you mean?
So last week we did a little juking action, but I mean, like, if we're on guard, you thrust. In the middle of your action, I am gaining your blade so I can go in and get you.
Okay. So what are you targeting? Are you targeting my wrist? Are you targeting my forearm?
So it's difficult to show with our finger swords.
Yeah.
But I'm not targeting your wrist. I'm targeting your weapon.
Okay.
So if this is the blade, it's easier with sticks.
Doesn't use the swords in front of them.
This is a stretta. I would have to start withdrawing and half.
And this would be very interesting.
Yeah, but if we're here and I relax my sword a little bit and you come in to gain it, as you come in, I block your sword to then get you.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll have to show you on our feet.
We'll have to get on the slab later and
maybe we'll film
stab
it.
at each other.
Maybe we'll film it too.
Yeah.
All I need is an extra helmet and a jacket, and you're set, man.
Cool.
I can probably give a
anything else?
reasonable price.
Anything else at class?
That was really it. I tried the lean over stance against the guy, which I mentioned, and we did counter tempos. And a buddy sent me where to get new shoes.
Cool. On that note,
Signing out.
Sword Buddies.